Hello and welcome to another episode of Rufus Eats Cheese. This beautiful looking cheese in front of me is Sweet Charlotte by Country Cheeses in Topsham. It is a cheese made in the style of something like Gruyère maybe, so I'm very excited to try it. Haven't even had a taste yet, so let's get into it. Before we dive in, I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone who has liked, shared, commented and subscribed, and I am very grateful for all the views and all the suggestions of cheeses that I have never heard of. So I think I've reached a part of my cheese journey where I realise how little I know, but I believe that is the first step towards wisdom, so it's hopeful. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe so you can be kept up to date with more videos. And if there's any cheeses you'd like me to try, no matter what they are, let me know. They could be the stinkiest, the most mundane, the easiest available, or really hard to find. Let me know and I will do my very best to try and find them and eat them just for you guys. So, let's dive in. As I said, this is made by Country Cheeses in Topsham. They have other shops in Tavistock, and I think they've got another one as well. It's a beautiful looking cheese. It's made in the alpine style, as far as I know. It's a little difficult to find too much info about it, but it certainly has that lovely close texture that you get with the alpine cheeses. It smells beautiful. I think I can already smell a little bit of that nuttiness, so I'm quite hopeful that this is going to be a beautiful cheese. So I'm going to dive straight in, I think. Lovely looking rind here. There's some crystals on the top here, which I would assume is maybe calcium lactate, although if it's an alpine cheese, they're perhaps tyrosine crystals. I don't know how old this cheese is. They have little pockets of tyrosine amino acid in there, so we will see. You can usually tell a bit by the taste, but let's cut a nice piece off here and we'll see what we can do. So it feels about the same texture, I think, as something like Gruyère. There's a nice little crystal there, look at that. Wunderbar. Right, I'm gonna cut this way and I'm gonna cut another couple, I think, so we can dive in. So the slightly older surface that was cut in the shop, it's not quite as light as the inner surface, so it's got a lovely colour to it. It's pale, but you can see that it does have a little bit of that nice straw colour to it. It's perhaps like the winter Comté, where the animals are fed on hay forage during the winter. So we will see. We'll have to ask them and find out. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful nose. Oh, it's nutty and sweet and buttery and so many things all at once. Lovely smell, like toffee and butter, so much butter. Oh, yeah, that's much more on the surface I've just cut. Doesn't smell quite the same on the surface that was cut earlier at the shop. It's been a couple of days. So perhaps a lot of those aromatics are going to really come through when it's tasted. So here we go. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. Absolutely instant. As soon as it touches your mouth, it just kicks off straight away. Wow. The sheep's tall that I tried before had a slight texture, almost like fudge. Don't know if it's a Westcountry thing, but there's this, I can taste in, or I can feel rather in here. It doesn't taste of fudge, but it has the texture of really good fudge, whilst being much firmer, which is very slight granular texture going on. A little crunch every now and then, these beautiful crystals. Oh wow, that's actually really quite complicated. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Ready? So first thing you get is like, there's a little flash of freshness. Lovely, fresh, milky tones straight away. In fact, it's still really nice and fresh. And this creaminess, I really am reminded of fudge in some way. That's absolutely lovely. The sweetness is now developing, and it's paired beautifully with this lovely savoury undertone. A lot of that milkiness has gone and it's been replaced by a beautiful butteriness. And there's an aromatic little hint that I can't quite put my finger on. I have another piece. All those lovely milky notes. And there's that sweetness, that lovely fudginess. Okay, here it is. I still can't identify it. It's almost like a herbal aromatic. I wonder if the rind is perhaps a herbal washed one. I need to visit and ask them about this cheese, I think. It's really complex. It's a lovely, lovely cheese. Oh, beautiful. Let's have another go. We've got there's really a lot going on. The sweetness, that lovely savoury note that just rings all the way through. Buttered popcorn and stuff, but without being too sweet. It's not sickly sweet like toffee or popcorn. It's just the flavour of. And then you're left with, it's almost like thyme or marjoram or something. These little aromatic notes afterwards. That's beautiful. It's such a complicated cheese. That's amazing. I am really impressed with that. That's very lovely. I imagine you could swap that out for pretty much anything. Any recipe that would require an alpine-style cheese, you could put this in instead. It is a little softer, I think, than some of them, but it's about the same as Gruyère, I think, or Comté. It's perhaps not quite so hard around the edges. Perhaps the storage is a little different to these other cheeses. They're much firmer around the edge, whereas this is a lot more uniform. Perhaps it's been wrapped or regularly washed on the outside. I know that Comté, for example, I think is brushed on the the rind to form quite a hard crust. This doesn't have that. This has a much more uniform colour. There's not so much difference in the cheese as it reaches the rind here. With Gruyère or something, you get a much thicker, darker rind, harder rind, and then there's a little bit where the cheese itself is quite dark coming away from the rind, and then you get the more normal bit of cheese, if you like, in the centre there. But this rind is quite different to that. So let's do what we normally do, and I'm going to try just a bit of rind just to see what flavours might be contributing to those aromatics that I had earlier. There's a lovely bitterness to it of it's almost got that bitterness of a Stilton rind, but much more subtle. Stilton rind is a bit boom in your face. This is much more subtle, much more toned down and polite, I think. And then it changes into a truffly kind of, truffly, mushroomy kind of flavour. It's actually making me salivate a lot. That's really interesting. I think a lot of the notes I'm getting from the cheese are perhaps from the rind, but need to ask country cheeses themselves about that. So I don't have an awful lot of info about this, other than it's an alpine style that they made themselves right here in the Westcountry, which is fantastic. So let's have another piece. Oh, it's so good. All that nuttiness and maturity you get with Gruyère. It's all there. It's all there. That nutty, rich. If anything, I'd say it was a little more nutty and rich, with a little sharpness from that rind. That's a really impressive cheese. I think that would be magnificent with pretty much anything, and it's quite robust as well. I think it would stand up quite easily to being paired with lots of things. You could also do some, cute little cubes or shavings or something to go on a salad. I think that would be magnificent. A lot of those flavours would really come storming out of there if it was cooked. So if you were going to do a fondue or stick some in an omelette or something, or even cheese on toast, grilled cheese, those flavours are really going to come forward. So what a beautiful cheese. That's so nice to know as well that it's made really just down the road. Lovely texture, and then those dairy notes that yield away again. And all that sweetness. You don't know that sweetness is there to start with, and then there it is. That is a beautiful cheese. Well done, guys. Well done. Well impressed. I'm pretty sure you can mail order from them, or give them a ring, or get hold of them on Facebook or other social media. I'll stick a link in the description for their social media if you want to have a word with them. I'm pretty sure they'd post you some of this. So if you've tried it, let me know in the comments. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. and I will see you next time.